Good afternoon, sir.
Afternoon, everyone. Okay, so we'll start with the lecture. We
Sir,
were discussing about, yes,
Sir, how
sir,
are
how
you?
are you?
thank you so much. Yeah, as we were discussing, coming back to neurology, yes, important disease that we were discussing was stroke. So, stroke, as you are aware, is deficiency of blood to the brain, and because of that, there will be neurological signs and symptoms or neurological deficits. So, which are the deficits we are going to discuss? We were already on the way. So, we'll continue with a slight revision of clinical features. First of all, there will be direct impairment, then there will be indirect impairment. The difference between direct and indirect means direct impairment is because of the injury to the brain. There are some things, say for example, sensory loss, motor loss, reflexes are diminished. Yes, indirect impairments means because of this paralysis, because of the motor symptoms, the patient is not able to move. So with time, the patient is not moving, there will be contractures, the muscle will become stiff and it will become tight. Yes, so all these are the secondary changes. Because of stroke, directly it is not causing muscle tight, joint stiffness, but secondarily it will cause because of the main symptoms. So that is the main difference. An example if you wish to take, so because of paralysis, the patient will be, because of immobility, there will be chances of DVT, there will be chances of pressure ulcers, there will be chances of osteoporosis because weight bearing not there. So these are the indirect. Moving forward now to direct impairments first. So first was somatosensory deficits. So we already discussed, so it may range from superficial, deep, or even combined cortical sensations. Anything can be affected. Mainly the area which is affected will determine what will be the signs and symptoms. If frontal lobe is affected, signs and symptoms will be related to the aspect more, sensory less, temporal is affected, occipital is affected, parietal is affected. Depending on all areas, there will be different signs and symptoms. So from the sign and symptom also you can say without MRI also which part of the brain is affected. Yes. So localized area, if only a single portion, may that be in the upper limb, in the thorax somewhere, so sensory loss is there, is a cortical involvement will be there. The cortex, cerebrum will be mainly involved. Diffuse widespread area, so whole upper limb, both upper limbs, both lower limbs or thoracic region, abdominal region is affected, then you can say thalamus and adjacent areas saying the information will be affected. Thalamus, as you are aware, the main relay center. બધા જ motor and sensory fibers, that is ascending and descending phase, have to pass through thalamus. તો thalamus માંથી pass થશે અને there will be, when there is deficiency in thalamus, thalamus affect થશે તો બધા pathway affect થશે, બધા જ pathway affect થશે, that means there will be a diffuse widespread area of involvement of sensory deficit. Cross anesthesia, when there is brainstem lesion. Loss of proprioception is more common. Yes, can anyone tell me what is proprioception?
Joint sensation, position of joint sensation.
Very true. So it is, you can say joint sense. Yes, even while it is moving or while it is stationary. So when it is not moving, it is specifically proprioception. And when the sense of movement of the joint is there, it will be termed as kinesthesia. Yes, which is again a part of proprioception. Profound hemisensory disturbance, the bilateral neglect, problem with functional task, and increased risk of injury. And numbness, dysesthesia, or hyperesthesia will be there. Numbness, that is complete loss. Yes, you can feel it is like a tingling sensation. Dysesthesia, that is altered sensation. Dys means dysfunction, esthesia means sensory. Hyperesthesia means increased sensation. Whenever you touch the patient with your finger, they will feel pain. Yes, so that is hyperesthesia. Pain will be because it will be in both the conditions, may that be in hemorrhagic or ischemic stroke, which are the two major categories of stroke we have already discussed. There will be severe headache, neck and face pain. This will be the initial signs also. Yes, headache without any non-cause, one of the 5 important early signs. Yes, so severe headache is one of the sign. Neck and pain will also be there depending on the site of the lesion. Lesion of PCA, that is posterior cerebral artery, involving ventroposterolateral thalamus or VPL, nucleus of thalamus, will cause thalamic pain syndrome. As we talked about, thalamus is the relay center, બધા જ fibers ascending હોય કે descending, they have to pass through thalamus. Yes, so if thalamus is affected, it will cause more amount of pain, which is also termed as thalamic pain syndrome. Specifically PL nucleus, that is ventroposterolateral nucleus. The name itself suggests it is located ventrally, posteriorly and slightly laterally, that is in the thalamus. Muscle imbalances, improper movements and proper alignment poor alignment will cause pain. So this is secondary again. Yes, directly pain na પણ થાય patient ને, પણ muscle imbalance થશે. Yes, synergy will be there. Spasticity ઘણા muscles માં થશે. We know spasticity more common in anti gravity muscles. So anti gravity muscles માં spasticity હશે, hypertonia હશે ને non anti gravity muscles will be weaker or will be paralyzed. Yes, so there is muscle imbalance. Improper movement, position નહીં સરખી આપો, alignment સરખું નહીં રાખો અને movements abnormal થાય, synergy. Yes, specific movements patterns which are stereotyped એવી movements થશે તો એના લીધે પણ pain થશે. Sequel of pain, what happens because of pain? Function. તમને ક્યાંય પણ દુખતું હોય તો તમે એ part use નહીં કરો. Yes, if your shoulder is hurting, you will not use that part. Yes, why? It is natural protective mechanism of the body, so we will reduce the function. So pain thase patient ne pan. In stroke also they will not use that part. If they are not using that part, there will be less amount of rehabilitation potential for that part. Impaired concentration. Yes, તમને ક્યાંય પણ દુખતું હોય, shoulder માં pain હોય, and I told you to do some activity, your concentration will be on the first. Yes, and less on the activity. Third, depression because of prolonged pain. The patient does not have any choice but to live with the pain, and they become depressed. They cannot cope up with the amount of pain they are feeling. And decrease rehabilitation potential, as we discussed. તમે એ part use જ નહીં કરો, rehabilitate નહીં કરો, exercise નહીં કરો patient ને, patient cannot do that exercise because of pain, so that will lead to reduced amount of rehabilitation potential. Visual deficits, we talked about homonucleus hemianopia, that is one half of the vision is lost. Optic radiation in internal capsule or primary visual cortex, so MC and PCA. When these are affected, there will be visual loss or visual deficits, you can say. Field defects contribute to patients' overall lack of awareness of hemiplegia. And visual neglect, depth perception and other problems in spatial relation. So spatial relation means related to space. Space ma related તમને depth na khabar, તમે half side neglect karo, so that chances the patient will have early. And if the patient falls even after the stroke, lower limbs normal છે, upper limb normal છે, પણ visual deficit fall થશે, પડી જશે, that means there will be chances that the patient will have secondary impairments more. Yes, like fractures, more important. Forced gaze deviation, whenever you ask the patient to gaze or fix the at one point, they will not be able to, or the movement of the eyeball towards or away from the side of the lesion will happen. So frontal lobe, eye field area, cranial nerve number 3, gaze centers in the pontine reticular formation will be responsible for this. If it moves towards the side of the lesion, say right side is affected and the moves towards the lateral side, that will be hemispheric lesion. If the movement is on the opposite side, medial side, there will be brainstem lesion. So this looks away from the lesion. Yes, so whenever you ask the patient to fix the eyes on one thing, on one finger or one specific point, the eyeball does not move there and it moves medially or laterally. Depending on the side of where the lesion is, it will be towards the lesion or away from the lesion. If it is towards the lesion, that is hemispheric lesion, and if it is away from it, that is brainstem lesion. Coming to motor deficits, so we discussed about 7 things that can go wrong with motor function, and it is utmost important for a physical therapist to examine motor functions. Of course, sensory are important, but our main role is movement is completely motor. Yes, so first is sequential recovery stages, second alteration in tone, third abnormal synergy patterns, fourth abnormal reflexes, fifth paresis and altered muscle activation pattern, sixth motor programming deficit, and seventh disturbance in postural control and balance. Coming to the first, sequential recovery stages. Yes, we talked about the Brunstrom and Bobath. Yes, so Bobath gave just 3 stages: initial flaccid, second spastic, and third relative recovery. Yes, but we are more learning and dividing the patient into 6 stages. That is Brunstrom stages of recovery. Remember the term Brunstrom stages of recovery. So flaccidity, first is complete flaccidity, no limb movements are affected. Second, associated reaction, that is minimal limb movements are possible. Spasticity begins to develop. Third, voluntary control of movements, spasticity increases and may become severe. Fourth, some movement combination out of synergy as possible, spasticity begins to decline. Stage 5, more difficult movement combinations learned. And 6, disappearance of spasticity, individual joint movement possible, and normal coordination. So as you can see, it all depends on presence of spasticity. Yes, जो muscle tone 0 होए तो stage 1, muscle tone starts developing or there is starting of spasticity, that is stage 2. Stage 3 is increase, that is maximum amount of spasticity will be present. Stage 4, spasticity starts declining. Stage 5, spasticity almost begins to decline and is minimal, and stage 6 is normal, spasticity has disappeared. Yes, and depending on that, synergy happens. Can anyone define what is synergy, or tell me what is synergy? What idea do you have? We have already discussed. What is synergy? Yes, tell me what is synergy. What do you understand by the term synergy? Yes, pattern of movement by group of muscle. Okay, yes. So synergy overall you can say is pattern of the movement. That is very true. Yes. So how much activation is required for each action, muscle action, motor action, is decided and determined by the brain. Yes. આપણે કોઈ પણ વસ્તુ કરવી હોય, say for example I have to take swing from my left side. So my left hand will be activated, shoulder muscles will go into abduction, slight amount of flexion, elbow will go into extension, wrist into flexion, and fingers will grasp the part which I have to get it. Yes, but in case if there is brain damage, the muscles or the brain will not give proper signal, and because some muscles are overactive because of spasticity. Spasticity means hypertonia. Yes, abnormal increase in the muscle. So because of spasticity there is increase in muscle tone, તો એને તમે activate નહીં કરો તો પણ એમાં tone તો વધારે જ છે. So say for example my shoulder abductors are in spasticity. So because of that, whenever I try to even flex my shoulder, it will go into abduction also. Yes, so this is an abnormal pattern. Yes, why abnormal pattern? Because some muscles which are not to be activated will be activated. Yes, so that is termed as synergy, abnormal movement pattern. So here you can see movement synergy, voluntary control of movement synergy. So synergy is an abnormal pattern that develops, and later on from stage 4, movement combinations out of synergy. So whenever you ask the patient to perform shoulder flexion, they can inhibit abduction and only perform shoulder flexion. This is an example that we are discussing. Not compulsorily it will only be in abductors. Yes, even the flexors, even the adductors can be spastic. How do you check spasticity?
Rapid passive movement.
Fast passive movement, very true. So whenever you perform fast passive movement, there will be a catch and release type of phenomenon. Yes, તમને લાગશે કે હવે resistance start થયું અને resistance વયું ગયું. Yes, so where it is present, maybe in the end range, maybe in the mid portion, maybe in the whole range, depending on that We have grade spasticity, modified Ashworth scale. Yes, we had discussed in assessment. So according to that, we will grade the muscle if it is spastic or not. Moving to second alteration in the tone, as we described, first of all, there will be cerebral shock. Yes, because when there is an injury, the initial first step the body will take is take all things off. Yes, switch off કરી દેશે બધું કે આગળ problem ના થાય. Yes, it is like you can say whenever the electricity fluctuates. Yes, what happens? MCP goes down so that there is no injury to other organs or other parts of the home. Yes, the same thing our body, whenever there is decreased blood supply, whenever there is injury, may that be in the spinal cord or may that be in the brain, so whole CNS as a whole, whenever there is some portion that is deficit, the first thing they will do is shut down everything. Yes, except the vitals. Yes, your heart rate, your respiratory rate, pulse, everything will be normal. Everything else is zero because it is in shock now. So first is, it is short lived. Yes, it is for a brief period of time unless and until the situation becomes better, and may persist only when lesion is restricted to cerebellum or primary motor cortex. So if the patient is having large amount of involvement of cerebellum or primary motor cortex, which is the part of frontal lobe, then there will be cerebral shock will persist. It will be for long period of time, and longer the period of cerebral shock, more are the chances the patient will not have good prognosis. Yes. Second, after flaccidity comes spasticity. Mainly it is seen in anti-gravity muscles. So in upper limb, scapular retractors, shoulder abductors, depressors, internal rotators, elbow flexors, forearm pronators, wrist and finger flexors. These are all the anti-gravity muscles and that will be undergoing spasticity. For lower limb, pelvic retractors, hip adductors, internal rotators, extensors, knee extensors, plantar flexors, supinators and toe flexors. No need to remember all anti-gravity muscles which are going for spasticity, but you need to remember what we had discussed and synergy patterns, flexion and extension synergy for upper limb and lower limb. So that is important, you have to remember. Alteration in tone. So autonomic postural tone is also impaired. So whenever you are sitting, even right now, maybe with the back supported, maybe in the supine line position, in this also your posture is continuously monitored and controlled unconsciously. Yes, it is not conscious, that is automatic. Yes, automatic postural. For that reason, here that control is also lost. Yes, so lack of stability, proximal stability leading to postural malalignment, balance impairment and risk of fall. Whenever you ask the patient even sit properly or sit straight for 10 minutes, they will not be able to hold the position because the postural tone, which is regulated every second or every minute by cerebellum, is affected, and because of that the patient will have increased chances of falling, balance impairments will be, and there will be postural malalignment. Abnormal synergy patterns. So highly stereotyped and obligatory movement patterns. Yes, stereotype, fixed from starting, conventional. Yes, what we discussed, an example of stereotype is stereotype thinking. Yes, like the old people think, or which thinking has coming from the generations. It is fixed, predetermined, પહેલેથી ફિક્સ છે કે આમ જ હશે. જો અપર લિમ્બમાં ફ્લેક્શન સિનર્જી હોય તો આમ જ હોય, આ જ મસલ થાય. Yes, so it is a fixed stereotype. And obligatory. Obligatory means compulsory. Stereotype છે એટલે ફિક્સ છે અને ઈ જ રીતે એક્ઝિક્યુટ થાય. Yes, so these stereotype and obligatory movement patterns. Patient limited in ability to vary or adapt movement to environmental demands. And two distinct abnormal synergy patterns, flexion and extension. So we had discussed about the upper limb and lower limb, flexion and extension synergies. Upper limb, shoulder retraction, abduction and external rotation. We discussed shoulder abduction hoy, that does not mean you have to perform 90-degree or 180-degree of abduction. It is just slight amount of abduction. External rotation, elbow flexion, forearm supination and wrist and finger flexion. I hope everyone remembers this. Upper limb extension, scapular protraction, abduction, internal rotation opposite, elbow extension and forearm pronation, but wrist and finger will remain in flexion. Yes, so the things are opposite, if you can see, but only the wrist and finger will remain in flexion. Yes, lower limb flexion synergy, hip flexion, abduction, external rotation, knee flexion, ankle dorsiflexion, inversion and toe dorsiflexion. and extension synergy, hip extension, adduction, internal rotation, knee extension, ankle plantar flexion, inversion, and toe plantar flexion. Yes, so these are the synergy patterns you need to remember. Muscle usually not involved in the synergy. Yes, so latissimus dorsi, teres major, serratus anterior, finger extensors, ankle everters, and ALS and functional mobility skills are impaired for such individuals with synergy. Now, why are we learning? More important it is to understand which muscles are not involved. So, come important છે કે કયા muscles involved નથી થતા, so that you can use in the rehabilitation process. તમને ખબર છે કોઈ muscle synergy માં જાય છે, or say for example here we have taken example of scapular muscle. So scapular retractors or protractors both will go under spasticity at a point depending on which synergy it is there. Yes, for that reason, if scapular muscles are not working properly, you can use teres major muscle, serratus anterior muscle, latissimus dorsi muscles to teach the patient functional tasks, to move the patient from supine line to sideline position, to ask the patient from sideline position to sitting, depending on the mat exercises that you will learn or that you have already learned. Yes, so these muscles are at most important to be used. Yes, આ muscles ને આપણે વહેલા use કરશું in the rehabilitation process, so as to have a functional outcome to the patient, because ADLs and functional mobility skills are limited. Yes, they will not be able to do their activities of daily living and functional mobility also. Functional mobility means from the morning itself, even if you are not walking regularly, you will have to at least sit, you will at least have to stand 2 or 3 times in a day. That is functional mobility. That is also lost for such patients. Yes, so I'll use such. How we are going to use it is about 6 steps you will learn in rehabilitation process of stroke completely. Yes, as a physical therapist, this is what we are discussing about the condition, neurological condition. Just there are abnormal reflexes. First there is cerebral shock. તો shock હોય આપણે ત્યારે વાત કરી બધું જ બંધ કરી દેશે. So there will be hyporeflexia or areflexia. Hypo means decreased, a means no. Yes, so hyporeflexia, decreased reflexes. Areflexia, that is no reflex. Spasticity, when there is spasticity there is increased tone, so there will be hyperreflexia. A reflex, what does a reflex mean? Reflex એટલે શું?
Involuntary response to external stimulus.
Yes, but important term that you missed is involuntary motor response to an sensory stimuli, external sensory stimuli. Yes, that is reflex. So here we know there is sensory, આપણે એક sensation provide કરશું, may that be tactile, may that be auditory, visual, whatever the sensation is, and depending on that it will form a reflex arc which will involve the motor response. Muscle contract થશે. Yes, so muscle contract થાય, muscle જો hyper હોય, hypertonic હોય, that is spastic હોય, તો it will cause hyperreflexia. Clonus, clasp knife rigidity, and positive Babinski sign. All the 3 things we have discussed while we were discussing assessment part. Primitive or tonic reflex patterns may appear: STNR, ATNR, STLR, and positive supporting reaction. So symmetrical tonic neck reflex, asymmetrical tonic neck reflex, symmetrical tonic labyrinthine reflex, and positive supporting reaction. All this we demonstrated, and also you will be learning in the pediatrics part. Associated reaction, that is unintentional movement of the involved limb resulting from an intensification of another limb or reflex stimulation. એટલે જે પણ part affected છે, say for example right side upper limb monoparesis there, one limb is affected. Yes, monoplegia or monoparesis is there. Difference between plegia and paresis: plegia, that is monoplegia or hemiplegia, means complete paralysis, no tone, grade 0. Yes, of voluntary control. Paresis means only weakness, khali weakness છે. So monoparesis means one upper limb is affected or one lower limb is affected which is weaker. Hemiparesis means one of the body is weak compared to the other half. Yes, so whenever you perform movement of another limb or normal limb, say for example side is affected, left side હું elbow flexion કરું છું, તો એની સાથે slight amount of initiation of movement on the affected side will be there. Yes, so this is termed as associated reaction. This we do use. Yes, initiate જ્યારે કરવું હોય કોઈ પણ movement ત્યારે આપણે use કરશું. કઈ રીતે? એક્ટિવલી નથી થતું, લેફ્ટ સાઈડ એક્ટિવલી એલ્બો ફ્લેક્શન કરીએ છીએ એનાથી એસોસિએટેડ રિએક્શન નથી થતા, પણ સામે તમે એટલો ફોર્સ અપ્લાય કરો લેફ્ટ સાઈડ નોર્મલ સાઈડ કે રાઈટ સાઈડ પણ સિગ્નલ્સ જશે, રાઈટ અમાઉન્ટ ઓફ initiation of the movement is achieved. Yes, this is one of the techniques that you will be learning again in the forthcoming semester, 6th semester. Associated reactions elicit the same movement in the upper limb, opposite movements in the lower limb. So elbow flexion karso, yes, that will cause knee and hip tension, opposite in lower limb, but the same movement in the upper limb. Yes, so elbow flexion, shoulder flexion will be in the upper limb. Homolateral limb synkinesis is also possible. એટલે કે upper limb is affected, lower limb is normal. Yes, as we talked about monoparesis, upper limb right side is affected, lower limb is normal on both sides. Yes, તો એમાં તમે lower limb માં extension કરશો, forceful extension which is normal, તો same side પણ તમને movement જોવા મળશે. That is termed as lateral limb synkinesis. Homo means same, homolateral means same side, limb, yes, of course upper limb and lower limb, and synkinesis. Synkinesis means you can say it is contraction of a muscle along with contraction of other muscle. Yes, એટલે કે તમારે બાઇસેપ્સ કોન્ટ્રેક્ટ કરવું છે, એલ્બો ફ્લેક્સર્સ જ કોન્ટ્રેક્ટ કરવા છે, પણ એની સાથે તમારા રિસ્ટ ફ્લેક્સર્સ પણ કોન્ટ્રેક્ટ થશે. યસ, ઇટ ઇઝ લાઈક રેડિયેશન વી ડિસ્કસ્ડ ઇન PNF. યસ, સો પણ that will be involuntarily. Yes, actively કરશો તો પણ થશે. Elbow flexion જ્યારે પણ તમે elicit કરવાની try કરશો, the time there will be wrist flexion. Yes, so this is synkinesis. કે individual movement તમે નથી કરી શકતા, it will always be in combination. Elbow flexion try કરશો કરવાની તો wrist flexion થવાનું જ છે. Yes, so this is synkinesis. It is an abnormal pattern. Yes, this is not normal. These are all abnormal things that you see in patient. When you see the patient, it will be more clear to you. Coming to the fifth, paresis and altered muscle activation pattern. So paresis found 80 to 90% of stroke patient. Yes, we are talking about paresis, not plagia. Paresis means weakness. So weakness is found in 80 to 90% of the patients. Decreation of force necessary for initiating and controlling the movement and the posture. So because of the paresis, there is less amount of force generation, tension generation. So tone is affected. Yes, there is hypertonia, but the force generated is less. So there is alteration in the movement and the posture. Oftentimes, upper limb is affected than lower limbs. Yes, it is not majority. Sorry, it is majority. It is not in all. Yes, બધા જ patient માં નહીં જોવા મળે, ઘણામાં lower limb પણ affected હશે. By which artery is affected, we are going to discuss. Distal muscles will be more affected compared to proximal muscles. So proximal muscles are relatively spared, but distal muscles are affected more. Yes, this is a general term, and because તમારા proximal muscles જો affected હશે તો naturally distal muscles affected. Why? Because nerves always, we are talking specifically about the motor aspect. The motor aspect, nerves are always from proximal to distal. ક્યાંય પણ nerve injury થાય તો part હોય, say for example forearm માં or elbow region માં nerve injury થઈ તો distal part માં muscle tone zero થઈ જ જવાનું છે. Yes, because the transmission have from proximal to distal. That is why distal muscles are more affected compared to proximal muscles. Contralateral hemiparesis or monoparesis. Yes, it is normally, yes, left side affect thase to right side there will be sign and symptoms, so it will be contralateral. Hemiparesis or specifically monoparesis also it is common. Upper limb will be affected. Quadriparesis, when there is a brainstem lesion. Quadriparesis means all the four limbs will be affected, will be paralyzed. Increased fatigability present in paretic muscles. So paretic muscles, even though, remember the spastic muscle, whenever they have spasticity, they are tend to be weaker compared to other muscles. Yes, why? Because they are continuously in contracted state, they are not to relax. Hypertonia. Yes, because of this there are chances that it will be highly fatigable. 1 or 2 repetitions and it will be, because they are not relaxing. Relaxation is utmost important for continuous or for endurance related activities. The rest is to be given in between, but because this will remain in contracted state, it is not possible, or there are more chances of fatigue. Changes occur in motor unit and muscles. So which are the changes? Motor units and muscles. Number of functioning agonist motor units decreases. Yes, contracted state રહે છે, nerve supply કરે છે, પણ ઈ state change નથી થતું. Contraction માં જ biceps રહે છે, ઈ relax નથી થતું. Signal એને contraction ના જ મળે છે, તો motor units for relaxation will decrease. Abnormal recruitment of motor units. This is the reason why there is synergy. Yes, જે muscle ને જે motor units ને signal ના જોઈએ એને signal મળશે. Yes, so there will cause abnormal pattern, movement pattern, that is synergy. So abnormal recruitment of motor units. Inefficient activation, difficulty trying to maintain constant level of force production. Why? Because there is continuous signal. As we talk, spasticity is nothing but alpha motor neurons જે control રાખતા હોય continuously muscle tone ઉપર, એનું confusion. Yes, if you remember in the class we had discussed an example of you eating the pizza and your parents telling you no. Yes, so if parents are out of town, that is up you can say brain is continuously monitoring the alpha motor neurons to not increase the muscle tone. Yes, એટલે બ્રેન નું સિગ્નલ જાય આલ્ફા મોટર ન્યુરોન્સ ને કે મસલ ટોન નથી વધારવાનું. મસલ ટોન શું, આલ્ફા મોટર ન્યુરોન શું ટ્રાય કરશે કે મસલ ટોન વધારવું જ છે મારે. યસ, means you are trying to eat the pizza every day but your parents are telling no. Now, but if your parents are out of town, that is brain is injured. Yes, at that there is no one to stop you from eating pizza. That is motor neurons muscle tone વધારશે જ. Yes, so there will be inefficient muscle activation. So alpha motor neurons નું direct influence છે increase in muscle tone, તો એ muscle tone વધારી દેશે. એના લીધે difficulties trying to maintain constant level of force production. એના લીધે voluntarily force જેટલું produce કરવું જોઈએ આપણે એટલું maintain થાય, because alpha motor neurons continuously હજી આપે જ રાખશે. Yes, it will keep increasing the muscle tone, increasing the muscle spasticity. Movement times are prolonged. Yes, કોઈ પણ movement કરવી હોય normally એના કરતા movement time વધી જશે for that individual. Atrophy of muscle fibers, greater loss of type 2 fast twitch fibers because continuously it is remaining in contraction. Type 1 fibers, which are endurance related fibers, slow twitch fibers, each continuously contracted રહેશે. તો fast twitch fibers contract નહીં થાય તો it will be lost. Normal mechanism of the body, use it or lose it. Yes, always remember, if you are not using some specific muscles, it will go for wasting. If you are not even using few muscle type fibers, then also it will go for atrophy. Bobath versus current concept. So you will learn about various concepts. That maybe one of them we have already learned, PNF, that is one of the pattern, or you can say rehabilitation protocol concept through which you can learn and re-educate the patient. Further modules to be discussed in 6th semester regarding this. Paresis also results from inactivity and limited mobility. Yes, so paresis when there is there limited activity or mobility, just initial stages, acute stages and subacute stages, when the patient is administered in hospital or at home, at that time they will not be able to move. એ વધારે movement and action નહીં કરી શકે. So because of this, it can also result in increase in paresis. Yes, already affected છે part, એના લીધે move જ નહીં part, તો paresis વધતું જશે. Early activation and forced use of involved extremities to counteract this problem. So if move the part specifically, okay, right side is affected, right side upper limb is affected, monoparesis there, you encourage the patient through any movement or through any which the patient can move that part early. If they move that part early, there are higher chances of the future. In coordination there, where how sensory ataxia, cerebellar ataxia or motor weakness, all the three can lead to incoordination. Sensory ataxia, the ascending pathways are affected. Cerebellar ataxia, cerebellum itself is affected, and motor weakness, because of motor weakness you can control the movement, and if there is loss of control of the movement, as incoordination or ataxia. Basal ganglia, if involved, will lead to bradykinesia and movement. Brady means decrease, kinesia means movement. Yes, speed of the movement, so is decreased, that is bradykinesia. And involuntary movements like tremors will be seen in patients. Which are the other types of involuntary movements we'll be discussing and we are going to discuss about Parkinsonism, an important disease of neurology. Last we'll discuss programming deficit. Yes, if the patient is not able to determine how to program a task. Yes, if I tell you, if you are holding your mobile phone right now, put your mobile down on the floor or on the surface near to you. Yes, so your brain will start performing or start thinking or programming how it is to be done. Yes, it will send signals to the cerebellum, basal ganglia. Cerebellum will again send the signal to the spinal cord through the peripheral nerves. Your muscles will get signal, and then it will be performed. Yes, of course, this takes fractions of seconds. We do not take much time for it. Yes, but if this programming is altered, if the brain cannot decide which muscles to activate and which to inhibit, then there will be motor programming deficits. Mainly it happens when left dominant hemisphere is affected, that is sequencing of the movement is done here. Apraxia, that is difficulty in initiating and performing the purposeful movement that cannot be accounted for by inadequate strength, loss of coordination, impaired sensation, attention deficit, abnormal tone, movement disorder, intellectual deterioration, poor comprehension and cooperativeness. આ બધું ના હોય એટલે કે નોર્મલ છે, કોર્ડિનેશન તમે ચેક કર્યું નોર્મલ છે, સેન્સેશન્સ નોર્મલ છે, કોઈ અટેન્શનમાં ડેફિસિટ નથી. વી ડિસ્કસ ધ 5 ટાઈપ્સ ઓફ અટેન્શન. અટેન્શન પણ નોર્મલ છે, ટોન નથી, ફ્લેસિડિટી નથી, નોર્મલ મસલ ટોન છે, મૂવમેન્ટ ડિસઓર્ડર્સ બીજા કાંઈ નથી, એબનોર્મલ મૂવમેન્ટ્સ નથી. Cognition is normal, that is intellectual, they are completely oriented. Comprehension is normal, they are able to understand the language and they are cooperative. Then also they are not able to perform specific movements. An example of apraxia. Yes, apraxia એટલે કે movement sequence નહીં કરી શકે, perform નહીં કરી શકે, even though બધું જ normal છે. Yes, there are two main types, ideational and ideomotor. We discussed the same things in perceptual deficits. Yes, so this is an perception deficit. Right hemisphere, there is sustained movement and posture. They will be in the posture continuously. Motor impersistence, that is inability to sustain a movement or posture. Whenever you ask the patient to stand, they will be standing, but later on not be able to maintain that posture. Yes, they will lose their balance, not because, understand this, not because they have incoordination, muscle imbalance, sensory imbalance, but tuj normal che, still they will lose the balance. Yes, even if you check their balance in specific areas, specific points, they will be able to maintain it, but specific koi પણ એવા posture હશે એ maintain નહીં કરી શકે. So this is an example of motor programming deficit when there is involvement of right hemisphere. We are discussing about the left dominant hemisphere. Yes, that is sequencing of movement. Now here sustaining the movement, that is function of right hemisphere. Yes. I guess that would be enough for today. I hope the revision was okay and the new things that you learned only this much. Yes, the paresis part we continued, and later on we discussed about the programming deficit. Yes. Okay, so any doubt now? Yes or no, everyone in the chat?
Sir, how are you now?
I'm much better.
Okay, sir.
Okay.